going to begin seated today. And root into the ground beneath you by walking your hands behind you and walking the shoulders together. So think about where your scapula is on your back. And as you walk your hands back, allow a little more weight to come into your sits bones, and then walk the hands toward each other, thinking about those two wing-shaped bones kind of coming closer together. And then root down into your hands and lift the heart, look up. And you'll feel yourself root down into your sits bones a little bit more too. As you arch back, and maybe you'll feel that in your legs even, depending on what other kinds of exercises you've been doing lately. So on your next exhalation, come up, round in, walk your hands forward on the mat into a fold. And just allow your head to move, checking in with your neck and what's going on there today. Just bringing in some circles, some movement, and then keep letting your weight pour forward towards your hands. On your next exhalation, walk yourself up. We'll lean back into our hands again, unwind the legs and wind them in the opposite direction. So it's probably the less comfortable configuration for the legs. Hold on to the front of the knees and then draw the belly button toward the spine for a moment, chin toward chest. Let the arms elongate. And then as you're ready, inhale, pull yourself up. Look up. And exhale, wind in once more. Inhale, pull on the legs, look up. Exhaling, wind in. And from here, walk the hands back behind you once more. Root down into the hands. Leaning back, lengthen from your pubis to your collarbones, actually all the way to the forehead, leaning back, squeezing the scapulas toward each other. And think about the upper arm bones even squeezing in toward each other. Keep head in line with spine rather than collapsing, because hear what that does to my breath. So opening across the chest, rooting into the hands, and then on your next exhalation, walk yourself back up. This time we'll inhale the arms up and elongate before we draw the belly button toward the spine and then fold forward. So release any tension in the legs. You might feel your muscles sort of holding back a little here. Just see where you can release and soften. And then notice if you're collapsing in the neck. So if your chin is jutting forward, draw it in and lengthen through the crown of the head. Feel the back of the neck elongate. Maybe press the upper arm bones into the front of the shins, pulling your crown of your head farther forward. Widening across the upper back. It's just a little bit of a motion there if they're connecting. It could be the elbows, could be the forearms, depending on how high up you are. And it could be the backs of the upper arm bones, pressing in and reaching forward through the crown. Just a little assist in this forward fold. On your next exhalation, walk yourself up. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, right hand to the ground, left hand up and over. Open up through the left side ribs. Sink the right shoulder away from the jaw. Look down toward the right hand for a moment. And really root down. Feel your foundation. Maybe going a little deeper, and then turn to look up at your top arm. Notice if that helps you to roll that left scapula around the spine a little more. If it helps you to lift that arm a little more. Looking up at it. Press into that right hand and push in the direction of the fingertips. And then on your exhalation, come up. Reach the hands skyward and sink them to the heart. Check in with your intention. And then leaning back one more time, root into the hands, cross the legs back into your favorite way that you chose the first time. And inhale the arms skyward and sink the left hand to the ground. Right hand reaches up and over. Gaze down toward the left hand. Feel into your foundation. Notice when you press into this left hand, push toward the fingertips and how that shifts you back into your right sits bones a little bit. And then maybe turn to look up and see if that helps you to stack that shoulder back a little farther. Maybe not. Sink the left shoulder away from the back of the head. And then inhale, come up, reaching both hands to the sky, float hands to the heart. Check in with your intention, and then open your hands, receiving for a moment. Close your eyes. Tune in to the flow of your breath through the body. And for just a couple of rounds of breath, we're going to practice a really simple breath work that you can take with you anywhere you go. If you feel stressed, it actually calms the nervous system. So we go deep really fast with this breath work. So for a moment, just draw in a breath and then purse your lips to breathe it out. So it flows out very slowly. Think of it as if you were trying to blow cool air across a baby's face without waking it. And then draw in another inhalation and blow it out the same way. Continue a few more rounds of breath. Notice any tension in the shoulders or the neck. Soften there. And if this brings you any agitation, just skip it. Just one more. And then release that whole practice. Inside of this kind of breath work, this calming breath work, we come home to the body. Come home to this moment. So just notice now what the word home means to you. It could be a place, it could be a state of mind, it could be a person. Just feel into the foundation under your body, on the surface where you are seated. Notice that you're being held inside of this container of your body. Breathing in the sensation of home. And as you exhale, root it down into the body. Once more, breathe in the sensation of home. Exhale, root it all the way down into the body. Last time. On your next exhalation, we'll catch up to the music. Reach the arms down to go up, blinking the eyes open. Float the hands to the heart. On your next exhalation, let's bring our heart over our right thigh and just make some big circles. You can walk the hands around with you or keep them attached, one to each knee. Your choice. Rounding belly button towards spine as you come toward the back, and reaching the heart forward as you come forward, as slow or as quickly as you like. And then move in the opposite direction a couple of times. See if you can feel the sensations up into the shoulders as you elongate your arms and all the way through the hips as you roll one more time. And then we'll straighten our legs out, reach your hands behind you. Walk those hands close together again, rolling the shoulders open, press down into the hands and lift the hips off the ground, reaching the toes toward the earth. Upward facing plank. You know I've been into plank lately. We can get all planky today. So on your next exhale, see if you can press your toes more toward the ground. And maybe they're not even reaching there, that's okay. One more breath. Now gather in a big inhale and then exhale, slow motion, the whole exhalation to bring your hips back to the ground. Inhale, arms up. We're still not catching up to this music. It's too perky. Reach your hands forward. Folding in. Now come up out of that a little bit. Lift your head and draw your heart forward. So draw, wherever you're holding on, draw back toward the body. Hold on, pull back. Pull your heart forward. So elongating from your sits bones through the crown and folding right at your hip crease. Exhale, belly button towards spine, fold in. Just one more breath. Soften your knees as much as you need to be here. And on your next exhalation, walk yourself up. Spin the legs to the side and we'll come up to table pose. Exhale, lift the right leg up behind you. Flatten out your foot like you could hold a tray of something lovely there. And then exhale, knee toward nose round. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee toward nose, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring the knee just hovering above the ground and lift it out to the side for fire hydrant. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, press it up. So offer yourself some resistance. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, sink it down. One more. Inhale and exhale. Extend the leg out behind you with the toes pointed down, the foot flexed. Root into the hands, and then on an exhalation, let's just easy does it. It's going to feel wonky. Draw that leg out toward the side and then in towards center. Might just be an inch of movement that you can get, but maybe a few inches. See what you got. And a few more times, just reaching out to the side, sinking it back towards center. One more. And from here, just let the knee hover above the ground, lift it out to the side and fire hydrant and tap the knee toward the elbow and bring it back to fire hydrant. Knee toward elbow. Fire hydrant. Tuck it in. Fire hydrant. Tuck it in. Last one. Lift. And one more tuck. Lift it up and hold. Who feels like that? 2 more breaths. Exhale that knee down. That was perfectly on cue. The whining. Yep. Rock your weight side to side. And now we're going to walk our hands forward on the floor, probably off your mat. Reach out into your fingertips. We're coming into extended puppy pose. So if you root down in the fingertips, just sink the forehead toward the earth. Stretch out from the tail through the crown. Root down into the fingertips, press down and open up that space in the armpits. Big stretch. On your inhalation, walk the hands back up under the shoulders. Now from here, lift that left leg up behind you, flatten out the foot. Get a feel for the height that you can accomplish. And then exhale, knee toward nose round. Inhale, lift with breath. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Don't let me rush you. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. From here, let's lift the knee out to the side for fire hydrant and then offer yourself some resistance. Press it down. Inhale, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, and squeeze it back down. Extend that leg out straight behind you. Flex the foot, point the toes straight down, rooted in the hands, and then play with this idea of opening the leg out to the side and bring it back to center. Super wonky. Bring it out to the side. Feel free to bend that knee if you need to. Draw it back in, and a couple more of these wonky side leg doodads. And back to center. Let the knee hover, and we'll lift it up into fire hydrant. On an exhalation, tap the elbow. Inhale back to fire hydrant. Tap the elbow with breath. Back to fire hydrant. Tap. Fire hydrant. A couple more. You got this. And you know what's coming. Tap and lift up. Fire hydrant and hold. Who's going to be the crying child this time? Who's whining on the inside as we hold this leg? A couple more breaths. Exhale, squeeze it down. Whew. Then walk the hands out in front of you, back into extended puppy pose. Big stretch for the arms, let the forehead rest. Root into the fingertips, smooth out the breath. Walk your hands all the way over to the left when you're ready. And through center over to the right. On an exhalation, come back to center and press up to plank. Find your plank pose. Spread your fingers wide, root into the feet, press into the feet, pull the floor together between the feet for a moment. See how that feels, and then soften, and now pull the floor apart between the feet. Soften. Hold for 3 more breaths. Exhale the right knee toward the nose. Round in, press down into the hands. Your back body will lift as you round and then send it out straight, hovering that foot above the ground. Exhale, knee toward nose round. Inhale, press it out, hovering that foot. Exhale, knee toward nose, press it out. A couple more at your own pace with breath. And step that foot down. Bring the knees back to the ground, big toes together, knees apart. Find child's pose. Bring the palms together above the head. Root down into the elbows. Stretch from the elbows to the armpits. Sink your hips back toward the feet. Now press your elbows down into the earth and round the upper back slightly. You don't move too much. We're staying right here. Just press up into that space. You can feel the tension as you press into the elbows. You can round your back and chin toward chest. And then plant the hands back on the mat coming up. Plank pose. Inside of plank pose, lengthen from the heels through the crown. And then on your exhalation, we'll draw the left knee in toward the nose, round, push down into the hands, and then extend. Continue a few more breaths, looking forward and rounding in. There's a tendency to want to rush these because they suck. How do I really feel? Come to center in your plank pose and press back to down dog. Bend your right knee and then your left, just pedaling out some tension in the legs. Root down into your hands, root down into your feet. Feel that sensation of home as you feel the earth holding you up, gravity holding you on. Let your head hang. Two more breaths. And then looking up between the hands, walk up to standing forward bend. Releasing all the weight of the head, smoothing out the breath. And from here, inside of standing forward bend, bring your palms to clasp behind your head for a little extra stretch. Bend your knees a little or a lot. Sweep the fingertips along the ground chair. Exhale, press the air away, float hands to heart center, thumbs tap the sternum. Does anybody not have a strap? So from here, breathing in, root down into your feet, pick up your strap and bring it to shoulders distance. So get a good grip on it. I have another one. Everybody has one, right? Yeah. Okay. Shoulders distance. Just like that, right? Hi, Trees. And rooting down into your feet. Reach out through your hands. And now begin to lift the strap above your head. Now, rock your weight a little bit side to side, just tipping so you feel into that stretch in the side body. Just doesn't have to be a big deal. Just find some stretch in the side bodies, using the strap to pull apart between the hands as you go. And then when you're ready, I always close my eyes when we do weird stuff so that you guys don't forget. Reaching up, we do a lot of weird stuff. Reach up and then begin to bring the strap behind your head. Let your hands slide down, but not super fast. Like don't just try to adjust all the way. You want to keep some tension. Keep going, and keep allowing your hands to move until you can bring the strap behind the body. So if that was too easy, it was not supposed to be easy. So bring it back to the front. I'm seeing some looseness on some of these straps. Reach out, no pressure. Now press it away. We're really pulling, right? And we're just at shoulder height. Of course, we're not going to stay here, but this is where we start, so we can use that tension. Is it a bummer with the stretches? Stretching one of these, I have plenty. Because your stretches, right?
Yeah. Okay.
No pressure.
No.
Okay. And so as we hold it, begin to lift it above your head. And reach it up really high, like you're going to lift it up to the sky. You're pulling apart at the same time. Only as much tension as you like. And then begin to drop it behind your head. Now you know you have to let up some tension, but just let it be like a ½ inch. And drop back just a little bit more. Just a ½ inch more. Drop back just a little bit more. Maybe a whole inch. Just play. It's going to take some space, but keep that tension on. Big stretch for the arms. Until it can come all the way around, keeping that tension, right? So take your time. Bring it all the way around behind the back. Yeah, like that. Keep the tension on the arms. And then let's play for a second. Let's reach the right hand up, left hand down, and take that side bend down. Keeping the tension at that same point that you needed for your back. Pull down on the left, reach over through the right, and then up again. And the opposite side, pull down on the right, reach up through the left. And back to center. Now, let's, for a moment, get some legs into this walk. Your right foot forward, your left foot back. And once we get here, we're moving into pyramid pose. So those of you who practice lots of pyramid pose with me, you know it's not as wide as down dog stance, and our feet are in two separate lanes of traffic. So just notice as you get here, you may need to step your feet a little wider or a little narrower. We want to keep the whole back foot on the ground. We're going to walk our hands behind our back and clasp our hands right on our sits bones. Our front toes are pointing straight forward and our back toes are pointing off at an angle that feels comfortable to our hips. Yeah, just like that. So now place an imaginary bowling ball in your hands, lean back, open across the heart, and then fold over this front leg. Let the hands rise as you go, releasing any tension in the low back, extending from the tail through the crown. Arms are rising, big stretch. And then on your exhalation, release your hands. Step your left foot forward, step your right foot back. Plant the whole right foot on the ground. Hands come to hip creases, lift up. Roll the shoulders back, clasp the hands, roll the heart open as the hands root down behind you. That bowling ball. Look up, stretch even in the neck here, chin reaching up. And then exhale, begin to fold forward. That bowling ball can magically turn into butterflies. It's a magic trick in your mind. And reaching forward so we don't drop the bowling ball on our heads. And the hands float up and the crown sinks down. And we root into our feet. Feel into that foundation. As you breathe here. And on your next exhalation, we'll release the hands back to the ground. Step your right foot forward, grab your strap once more. Easy does it, come up. Shoulder width. We're just gonna try this one more time. So just shoulder width, no cheating, no bigger, okay? So we really wanna use this tension to our advantage. So pull, begin to lift all the way up. Take a little side bend, stretching the side bodies. Both directions. And then as we press this up like we're holding up something fantastic above our heads, just want a big trophy head. Begin to let the hands reach back behind you and then just slow motion. Let up, let up, let up. Let your hands slide out, out, out. Slow motion, no forcing. Feel that awesome stretch. So good. Find your edge and ease the strap behind the body all the way down. Take your time. Good job. Taking your time. If it's easy, you're not doing it right. But if it's too hard, you're not doing it right either, right? So we find our edge only, okay? So once you're done, we'll rock our weight side to side and drop that to the ground. We're gonna get back to it later. Inhale our arms up. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Root into the left foot. Lift your right foot. Check in with your balance today. See how it is. And sink the right foot. Root into the right foot and lift the left foot. Each side is different, right? So you need to check in with both. And as you are ready, sink it down. Sweep the fingertips along the ground chair. Sit down deep. Lengthen through the crown. Lift up your toes, spread them wide. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring your hands to your heart. Oops, I changed my mind. Root into the left foot. Root into the right foot. So rock your weight a little bit side to side. You can let your toes come down if you like. And then lift your right foot off the ground, step it across the left. Now, remember, Tuesday we learned there's a whole nother version of ego where your legs are straight and your ankles are just crossed. Play with that if you need to. If you're ready, cross that right knee over the left and maybe wrap the right ankle behind the left ankle. Now just reach your arms up in chair, if possible. Sit down deeper. Bringing out the legs. On an exhalation, sink the hands back to the heart. Inhale, unwind, take up some space. Root down into that right foot, and then exhale, step it back. Going inward to move outward. Rock your feet a little bit. Root down into the right foot. Lift. Actually, first we're going to move into chair. Let's find chair pose. And lift the left heel, step the left foot across. Bring your hands to your heart. Maybe wrapping the foot around the back of the ankle, maybe not. Inhale the arms up. Sit down deep. Float the hands to the heart. Inhale, unwind, open up big, take up some space. And then on your exhalation, step the left foot back, hands to heart. Checking in, coming back to home, to center, to going inward. On your next inhale, lift the right leg, step it all the way back into crescent. So stay on the ball of the right foot, lift the arms high. Now notice when you get here, it's a tendency to let that right hip just go all the way back to Jerusalem, but we're gonna draw it forward a little bit. So soften the back knee if you need to get there, but you can bring your hands to your hips and feel into that difference when you really press that heel way back, or if you allow it to spin forward. Inhale the arms up when you're ready. Let's bring our hands together to clasp behind the head. Lean back maybe into a little back bend. Now you are in a balance, so be very careful here. If you want to keep your gaze on the ground, you can look down your nose at the ground or look up if that feels okay. Now press head into hands, hands into head. 2 more breaths. Release the arms. Sweep them down to go up, and we're going to sink the right elbow over to the outside of the left knee. Now we can bring the right hand to the outside of the knee, left hand to low back. Stay right here in this upright position. It's a perfect place to be in the twist. If you're ready for more, begin to sink down into that right elbow. Take it in with your balance. Now play again with this idea of pressing back through the right heel, shifting backward, and then shifting forward on to the ball of the foot. Just a couple of times. And then press left hand down into right to twist a little deeper. Two more breaths. Bring the hands to the ground, framing the left foot. Pausing in the lunge for a moment, then draw your right foot to the ground, right knee to the ground, sorry. Lift up in a low lunge. And you can stay straight up and down, or shift the hips forward, looking up, finding a deeper stretch maybe in the front of that right thigh. On an exhalation, sweep the hands back to the ground. Lift the right knee, step the right foot up next door to the left. Release the crown of the head toward the earth. Inhale, chair. Exhale, mounted. Lift the left knee. Step the left foot back into crescent. Some days that's really graceful, and some days it's really sloppy. Play with that stepping back maybe. So check in with this left hip. Notice how it just wants to go, go, go. Instead, bring your hands to your hips and square them a bit. Inhale, arms up when you're ready. Bring hands behind the head, pressing head into hands, hands into head. Easy does it looking up. Maybe, maybe not. Sink more toward the 90-degree angle of the front knee. Inhale, unwind the hands, bring the gaze back to neutral, and then float the hands up once more. And we're gonna bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee, but we can come through left hand, right hand low back, and ease our way in. So finding where your edge is by entering in mindfully. Right hand presses down into left. Turn our torso toward the right thigh. And then play with that back heel again. Adding a little bit of movement into this balance. Pressing out through the heel. Shifting forward onto the ball of the foot. Just a couple of times. And then focusing on the hands for a moment. Pressing the right hand down into the left. Turn a little deeper. On your next exhalation, we'll set the hands down. Sink the left knee to the ground. Coming up into slow lunge, reach. Stay here or add the back bend. Stretch for that left thigh. Exhale, hands back to the ground. Plank pose. Dolphin plank. So come to the forearms. Breathe. Remember that comforting breath we learned at the beginning. Play with that here. Inhale a full breath, and then purse the lips and blow it out. Super slow motion. Sink your hips toward the earth. Uncurl the toes. Big ah. So elbows are right under shoulders. We're going to press into the floor, roll the shoulders back, pull the mat back toward you. So gaze at the baseboard on the other side of the room, or where it would be if there isn't one. One more breath. Then exhale, lower the torso. We're going to reach our right arm forward, roll our right ear onto the right bicep. Left hand is an anchor to start, and then play with lifting the left hand for balance here. See where you are. And then, if possible, lift the head, plant the right hand beneath the head, and then check in with your balance again. May want to stagger your legs, maybe not. Or move your right leg forward a little bit. Then we'll bend the left knee, bringing the right hand to the left big toe. Now, you can also use your strap here if that feels better. Because we're going to play with straightening the leg. Draw your pubis forward and begin to straighten the leg, slow motion. So use your strap if you like or not. Got a lot going on here. This is actually a balance, even though there's so much of you on the floor. Some balance work going on, so your core is engaged. And we're actually in a side bend. Look what's happening in the neck. And a big leg stretch. So check in with your foundation, all the way from that right foot up through the right elbow. Feel into that home base. And then notice even that connectedness between the upper and lower bodies. Elongate through the crown. 2 more breaths. Exhale, release the right leg and roll onto your belly. Now bring your right arm over to the left. Left arm in front. This is not pose. Opening up that space between the scapulas. Palms face up. Taking it easier on you guys today than Tuesday. Sorry. That's drag. Palms faced up as if you're receiving. Now root down into the elbows and then lengthen through the crown of the head. So maybe rising up a little bit more and not pose. Feel that awesome stretch between the scapulas and across the shoulders. Maybe. Are you feeling it somewhere else? On your next exhalation, we'll unwind. Send the left arm out straight and roll left ear on the bicep. Now check in with your balance on this side body. Maybe you want to move your left foot forward a little. If you can, think about where your left armpit is. Maybe crawl your left fingertips a little farther away, stretching that space in the bottom armpit. And then lift the head, root the head into the hand. Check in with your balance and maybe use a strap, maybe not. Begin to bend that right knee and take a hold of the big toe or use a strap. Begin to straighten the right leg. Press your pubis slightly forward. And breathe. How is the breath flowing in the body in this moment? Are you finding your edge and the stretch for the leg? Two more breaths. And release. Rolling onto the belly. And now we'll bring the left arm across and then the right arm in front, not pose. Root down into the elbows, palms face up. Walk the elbows close to the body. Then tuck the chin toward the chest for a moment to get your arms as connected as possible. And then lift the crown of the head up. You can even root into the tops of your feet a little. Palms open, receiving. Hug for the heart. Opening across the back side of the heart. Two more breaths. On an exhalation, we'll rock ourselves apart. Just walk the elbows apart and then press yourself up into plank pose. From plank pose, let's lift our right foot off the ground, just a couple of inches. Keep head in line with spine. Inhale, shoot that right foot up into the sky, three-legged down dog, sink the left heel. Now bend the knee and stack the hip, pointing that right knee toward the ceiling. Sink the left heel even more. On your next exhale, draw the right knee toward the right elbow, shifting into plank. Inhale the right leg up into the sky. Stay for a breath. Tuck the knee in toward the nose, coming into plank with the knee tuck. Press your nose toward your knee. Press your heart up toward that space between the scapulas, rounding the back slightly, and then press the foot back up into the sky. Exhale, right knee toward left elbow. Maybe to tap. And then sit that right hip on the ground. Spin the left toes upward. I'll turn. So your right hip just came down. We bring that foot in toward the groin. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the left elbow to the inside of the left leg, reaching toward the left foot. So as we gaze toward the left foot, keep moving your head, your heart in that direction. And then maybe gaze up and see if that helps you to stack that right shoulder a little better. Exhaling, turn the gaze toward the left foot. Set your right hand down, left hand down. Square off over this left leg. You can use your hands even to steer yourself toward the left a little bit more. And then fold out over this left leg. Again, leading with the crown of the head. On your exhalation, walk your hands up toward the body. Coming up to seated, and just take a twist in the opposite direction. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind. Stay open. Root into the right hand. Elongate. Coming back to center. Now, from here, root the hands right underneath the shoulders and lift that right leg back up into the sky. Sink the left heel. Bend the knee and stack the hip. Same side as before. Exhale, right knee toward right elbow to tap. Inhale, send it up. Right knee towards center, hug it in, press down into the hands, round the upper back a little bit. Inhale, send it high. And then right knee toward left elbow to tap. Stay for one breath. And then send it back up into the sky. Let's float that right foot to the ground. And walk your hands back to your feet for a forward fold. Release the weight of the head. Find that home base in the center of your foot. It's easy to press back into your heels and let your sits bones come behind the heels. Instead, try to move your weight to the center of your foot here. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, mountain. Thumbs to sternum. Rock your weight. Inhale, arms down to go up. Exhale, swan dive. Release the weight of the head. Release the weight of the shoulders. Walk your hands back forward into plank. Inhale, lift the left foot off the ground, a couple of inches. Pull the left leg up into the sky. Sink the right heel toward the earth. Now bend the left knee, stack the hip. Inhale, send the left knee toward the left elbow to tap. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, knee toward nose to round and press down. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, right knee toward right elbow, hold. And then set that left hip down on the ground. Spin the right toes to point upward. Draw that left foot in toward the groin. And once you've arrived, reach up. It can actually help us put our hands behind back for a moment, root down into the earth, roll the shoulders open. Feel your sits bones, and then elongate. And we'll bring that right elbow to the inside of the right leg, reaching the right hand toward the foot wherever it lands is perfect. Sometimes just the bent elbow is really helpful to press into the inside of the thigh to help rotate the chest open. And look toward the right foot for a moment. And then look up toward the left arm, maybe stacking the shoulders a little more, maybe not. On an exhale, begin to turn your torso, slow motion, to look toward the right foot. Plant the hands for a moment, rooting them into the ground, pushing more into the right fingertips to help you to turn toward the right. Push the right fingertips away, turn your torso toward that right arm a little bit, help you to elongate, and then on your exhale, fold forward. Again, just looking for your edge here. And then when we find it, we breathe and expand, maybe find a new edge. New doesn't always mean deeper. Listen to the body. And then bring yourself up, slow motion. Right hand to the outside of the left leg, twist. Left hand reaches into the ground behind you. And see if you can even imagine the fingers growing down like roots into the ground, pressing down, pressing the earth away to elongate the spine. That rooting, that sensation of being held or sensation of home. Because in reality, this body is your home, right? On your exhalation, unwind and bring the right leg back behind you. If it's not already there, bow down and then lift that left leg up into the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Sink the right heel, bend the left knee, stack the hip. On your next exhalation, easy does it. Left knee to tap left elbow. Pause. Inhale, send it up. Sink the right heel. On an exhalation, draw the knee towards center, rounding the upper back. Press down and pause. Inhaling, send it high. And knee toward left, right elbow. Hold. And send it up. Sink the right foot to the ground. Down dog. Exhaling, knees to the ground. Cross the ankles over or spin the legs to the front, roll through, whatever works best for your body. And we'll come lying down on our backs. We didn't get to cow face pose today, but we did do some other good things for the shoulders. Lift the knees off the feet off the ground and just let the hips shift side to side, knees moving side to side. All the way over to the right, all the way over to the left a couple of times. And then as you're ready, plant the feet on the floor. Hips width distance. With the soles of the feet down. We're gonna reach our hands toward our heels. Roll the upper arm bones downward, press the palms downward. Exhale the belly button toward the spine, rounding the back toward the earth. And then lift the tailbone off the ground, coming up into bridge. Clasp the hands beneath if you like, or keep the palms on the ground. Walk the upper arm bones under even more. Root down into the feet. Press into the feet. Chin comes toward chest, but make sure the breath is flowing smooth and easy. Rooting into the feet. Pressing a little higher. 2 more breaths.
Squeeze the thighs slightly toward each other. They don't actually move. We just want to keep them parallel. Release the hands if they're clasped. Unroll the shoulders and sink down one vertebra at a time. Let the knees drop toward each other for a breath. Rooting down into the feet, begin to rise once more into bridge pose. Clasping hands or not. Just find your edge. Keep your gaze up, looking up. We don't want to turn our head when we're here. Press into both feet, drag the floor together between the feet. And then soften. Release the hands if they're clasped, unroll the shoulders and come down one vertebra at a time. Let the soles of the feet come together this time, thighs drop open. Recline cobbler's pose. Soles of the feet back to the ground. One last bridge pose. Reach your hands towards your heels. Roll the upper arm bones down. Scapulas draw in. Press into the feet. Lift the tail. Bridge. If it feels good to you, rise up onto the balls of the feet. Parallel the thighs. One more breath. On your next exhalation, unwind the hands and ease yourself back to the ground. Slow motion. Soles of the feet come together, recline cobbler's pose. Bring your right hand to your heart, your left hand to your belly, but let the elbows sink to the ground on either side. So you're to the side maybe, and that's okay. Just connect into this flow of breath through the body as it is held by the ground. And once more, bring to mind the sensation of home, of feeling at home. Press the soles of the feet together a little bit to feel into that foundation. Maybe even make some circles with your hands where they are to feel that connection to the body. And then release the hands out to the side. Maybe stretch the legs long along the ground or keep the feet on the floor, heel and toe the feet apart and let the knees drop together if you need to protect your low back. If not, send the legs out straight, feet flop open, hands flower open, shoulders tuck under the back. And we breathe in a deep breath. Sigh it out through the mouth. Release the weight of your body into the ground. Gathering in one more deep breath. And with a sigh, root down into the earth beneath you. Feel a wave of relaxation move out from the center of your center, around your belly button, and radiate out in every direction as you surrender now completely.
As you introduce a deep, long, smooth breath, allow it to move through the body. Easy does it. And then begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Feet land on the floor. We ease ourselves to our right side. And then gently press yourself up to seated. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, chin toward chest. Ease the eyes open. Inhaling, arms and gaze skyward. Exhale, hands to heart. Namaste.